What's up, Samurai? We are back in more. Let me get this shit off of me. So today we're actually doing something special because the new update is here on PC anyways. And I promised you guys, to my own dismay, that I would end up doing an unboxing video for the new boxes right here, the Mystic Reagent stashes. These bad boys are quite expensive. Normally, you guys have probably noticed, but I've been doing these types of videos, but just with 100 boxes. But I did promise you guys, and I'm gonna stick to my word, that I'm doing $100 worth. So this way we'll get to see the karma bar. We'll also get to kind of see whether or not these boxes end up being worthwhile. Does patron affect the karma bar? Because I haven't I haven't used the, oh yeah, it's gem box karma. I don't think it affects normal boxes, but I haven't gotten my patron for like quite some time. Okay, there, I did refresh my patron just because I feel like I'm gonna finally actually start playing this godforsaken game. I haven't refreshed my patron for like 2 or 3 weeks by now, just because there wasn't really anything going on. Now, the thing that kind of sucks about these boxes is the items that we're gonna get out of them aren't really going to end up being super significant. It is gonna end up giving me kind of an advantage over you guys in terms of mastery and progression through one of the new professions, but I'm really not expecting much out of these, especially considering how expensive they are. And on top of that, where are all those other packs? I saw like 3 different packs where it was like, if you buy all 3 of these, you'll end up getting some new item or something. And then there was the Mystic Madness pack as well. Of course, I'll have videos on all of it, but it was quite surprising the amount of credits that they were asking of the player, but maybe that was just a visual glitch and I wasn't supposed to see those yet. I don't know. Either way, let's get into it. Normally I end up doing these on stream, but whatever. So the crystallized fragment, these are essentially going to end up being mana that I can store. So I'm going to be able to convert the crystallized fragments into normal mana, but the default cap that you have on mana is going to end up being 1000. So this is a way that I can store these in my inventory, which I really don't like the fact that it takes an inventory slot rather than taking something in my flux slot. But whatever, beggars can't be choosers. If I end up getting a bunch of mana out of it, okay, cool. But 9 bleached bones, 7 enchanted wood, like these boxes, hold up here. Let me actually calculate this. Either way, these are very expensive considering the lackluster amount of items that I'm getting out of it. And most of all, like the mana, okay, cool. But all the other crap is just garbage. Now, the thing is, on Karma, are we going to end up getting a bunch of rare items, or are we just going to get a bunch of trash? The other thing, too, is that this is $100 worth. Am I going to end up getting enough mana that I can even reach the 1000 cap? And on top of that, I want to be clear, the amount of mana, there's different types of mana, of course, so it's even more worthless. These boxes suck. So, essentially, with this mana, we need to have like 100,000 plus in order to actually max out the profession. So unless this crystallized goes into a higher portion of the normal mana, like once I convert it, 300, that's a decent amount. This is really, really bad. I mean, obviously it's RNG, so you never know, but let's see what happens when we trigger Karma. Mana maximizers, 15 of them. That's not bad. It is bad, but it's not bad considering the cost that they're expecting you to get the mana maximizers. So being able to get 15 of them right then and there is not that bad. We also got really, really lucky and got one of the mounts. So that's really, really good because that's not even on Karma. Point being is if we don't get like a crap ton of mana out of this, that means that this is expecting you to spend like $500 and up, which kind of, you know, is very standard when it comes to Trove stuff. The other problem too is that with so many different types of mana, a lot of those weren't on the test server, so I don't actually have the calculations for how much of the different types of mana that we're going to end up needing. I will end up hopping into the hub after we end up unboxing all of this stuff, so that we can kind of see and figure out for ourselves, like, okay, well, how much is the average that the game is expecting you to end up spending on these boxes? Because the problem is too, we're not getting any of these boxes as drops, which means that there is a very, like, we're not going to trigger Karma That's really, really lucky. We're not going to trigger karma one more time after this. Okay, and then that's on karma, 5, like, okay. So unfortunately, $100, ew. $100 is not going to end up giving you enough boxes to trigger karma 3 times. We do have these special rare boxes that we can get out of this. So the rare boxes will essentially give us a guaranteed rare item. But as we've seen, we can get 5 mana maximizers as a rare item. So those could be like, they could be awful, these boxes. The thing is, I'm going to have to look and see how much mana can we actually get each day for free to play, because if I'm not mistaken, we can get like 1,000 mana free to play every day. It is time gated, yes, but all this essentially bought me was like 4, possibly 5 days if I get lucky enough. 5 days worth of mana? That's not really that big of a deal. Not even on karma, like good lord. Okay, well, either way, I mean, at the end of the day, are these worth it? No. The reason why is because they are giving us items that essentially end up increasing our stats. So one of the big criticisms a lot of people are saying about this update, and I completely agree, is where's the content? Because this update doesn't really add anything meaningful to the game. It's just behind the scenes status numbers and, you know, obviously a couple stupid mounts that nobody wants. But anyways, so we've got these boxes. Let's see if we get lucky. There it is. There's the 5. Let me get a 5 again. 14. No, give me the mounts. Give me the mounts. Give me the rare items. That was awful. Absolutely awful. Obviously, it's going to end up increasing my mana a little bit, but that is just... I mean, I don't know what I expected. Obviously, I expected it to be really, really bad. But the funny thing is, back in the day, like... the geode surface boxes and stuff, like they would at least give you other resources that ended up making it more worthwhile, versus this where you're getting a bunch of crap amongst a new resource that doesn't really have any realistic value. So you'll see right here, so we can actually get, yeah, we can get 1,000 wild Trovian mana and it resets every day. So these items, this mana right here, this basically just got me 5 days worth of mana, unless I can convert it into, wait, what? Mega mana maximizer? Oh, there's a mega one versus the smaller one. Increases maximum mana you can carry by 1,000. Wait a minute, what do these do? Oh, these are by 100. Okay, that's terrible. So I didn't even get that much in terms of my mana. Okay, then there's that, and then I got one item right here. At least it was one of the most expensive items that is going to take me a very long time to get vanilla, but I would have much rather had this tome. The funny thing is, if we're looking at all of these other manas, we didn't even come close to being able to craft most of these. This is something that I'll just barely be able to craft, obtained from igneous shards, igneous islands. Okay, so I didn't get any of those. I barely got any of that resource. Devs, come on, this is terrible, dude. I mean, I know these are like, no, they're allies. They're not even like coveted. These aren't even good items. At least I got the mount, which is like the rarest item. And it is a tradable version, so I could probably sell it for like a lot. Not worth it though. Yeah, what can I say? Are these tradable at all? The mana or other items or whatever? No, they are not. Okay. That kind of frustrates me. Okay, so yeah, either way, no surprise that it's not really worthwhile. You will be able to buy 5 mana maximizers every week. So that's where they think, you know, as far as the devs are concerned, they have forced the value of these items based on the rarity of them. So there is a very controversial topic with a lot of the stuff in the cash shop where a lot of us, you know, would say that, was that worth it? No, it wasn't, because the impact of how much it's going to actually affect my account for $100, like I could buy a full video game for that price. And this is barely going to end up getting me, you know, further along in the mysticism. I'll have to see how much it's going to end up getting me in the mysticism career. But let's consider that there's also another career or profession or whatever, you know, the martial arts one. And then on top of that, okay, so 5 of these. So they think that it's a rare item to get all 5 of these out of the boxes because, oh, well, that's an extra week's worth, right? 15 of them, not bad, but generally speaking, everything else is kind of atrocious here, you know? Anyways, that's my 2 cents towards it. What do you guys think? I would very much appreciate if you leave a like on the video, you know, show your support down in the comments, tell me how dumb it is. If you ended up watching all the way to the end of the video, just say these boxes poo-poo, just so that I know that you actually watched the video all the way to the end. It would mean a lot to me because then it would end up being like audience retention and so on and so forth. Or just watch 2 of my other videos because apparently that's the same as leaving a comment. Because I gotta make my money back out of this. I consumed the mount, right? The mystical mecha. And I unlocked it, but it requires mysticism level 150 to even use the mount. I feel like the devs made a bit of a mistake there, and it was supposed to be that you need that much to craft it. That makes sense, but the fact that I can't actually equip it right now, like that's stupid. Devs, come on, man. Okay, so I'm actually adding an additional section to the end of this video because I recorded all of the unboxing and then I ended up doing a live stream and I ended up getting a lot of feedback from you guys. The funny thing is that these boxes are just not worth it. Like, don't bother buying them because the irony is this update is extremely free to play friendly. Like, I was very, very surprised how easy it was to get mana maximizers because you can actually get them off of just random elite mobs and bosses and stuff like that. Not dungeon bosses, but enemies in the open world. Same with the mana as well. It's a very, very easy resource to farm. So I don't really know how or why they expect you to spend money on the pack when so much of it is free to play accessible. Like, I was able to get, like, in the span of less than an hour, like maybe 30 minutes, I was able to get like 3,000 increase to my total mana with mana maximizers, which is ridiculous considering that the $100 that I spent essentially gave me up to 10 to 13K for my total mana, and you can get a total mana up to 100,000. So I'm just trying to put it out there that one solid day of grinding free to play in Trove towards this one exact profession is going to yield the same, if not more, than the amount of items that I got out of here. It's ridiculous. Now, of course, there is going to end up being the mount that I can't use, but even so, these resources are not that tough to actually grind because all of these are just obtained from Igneous Isle Adventure Worlds. These are just dropped off of enemies. There's new enemies that you can end up finding, but you can also just find mana just out in the world so long as the daily quest or daily crafted stuff is related to it. So for example, I could just go into Neon City and just grind like normal base mana. I'm just saying that this is not difficult to obtain. What's difficult to obtain is increasing the profession enough, just because the mana itself is a very slow resource to grind. Everything around it is significantly easier to get. And it is going to be a slow, arduous process to max out the profession, especially as the higher professions require more and more additional mana just for one specific item. But I just wanted to include this part of the video to just say that these boxes are even less valuable than I originally thought they would be, because grinding the mana and grinding the mana maximizers is like ridiculously easy. So just don't buy these boxes, like, at all. Just stay away from them, especially with the fact that the mount doesn't even work. Like, the only valuable item I could see you getting out of this would be if you found this tome out of the boxes. But I didn't get lucky enough to get anything other than this, which arguably is the most expensive item, but it's glitched and the devs made the mistake of not allowing me to actually use it. So it has no value.